Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back, or welcome to the Hawk. And my name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, or whenever you're watching. If you're watching the replay, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I personally had a great weekend. It was filled with so much energy and a lot of fun, some time outside, some time with family, some time with hockey. It was absolutely glorious. I've got quite a bit to talk about today in the energy update. It's actually kind of interesting. So before I kind of dive in, I just want to kind of step back and tell you about my meditation and how it presented itself to me because it's very, very interesting. And I think this is the first time this kind of happened the way it did. So I'll just take a moment to kind of explain the meditation a little bit. So I always sit and channel, the energy for the week or the energy for the day. And I sit with my guides, and I just kind of do some channeling work, and I just kind of let myself fall deep into a meditation. During this morning's meditation, I was joined by a lot of ancestors, not just my ancestors, but ancestors collectively. And they sat with me in this huge circle, holding a lot of space. And they talked to me a lot about the energy of healing and moving through their lessons and their learning, and how some of it was passed down and to us, and how we have kind of navigated through change and growth, and how proud they were of the work that we've done here in the physical world, because times have changed. If you think over the last 100 years, I mean, things are very, very different here than what it was for them. And for the most part, they did the best with what they knew, and we're doing the best with what we know. And we've there's been a lot of growth. So that's how the meditation kind of started, and that's kind of a lot of the channeling that I did. And then they brought me into the current moment with this beautiful full moon that's coming in tonight. It is a full wolf moon, and it is absolutely going to be extra bright for the next 3 days. So that moon energy is going to be brighter right up until Wednesday morning, and it's going to be moving through us in with a lot of different energy. I also understood why we started off with such a gentle January, because this moon is bringing us into like a new position of healing, a lot of letting go of old stuff, but a lot of relationship stuff is kind of navigating through here. It's also the first full moon of 2025, which kind of has an interesting feel to it all on its own. There's a lot of harmony that's also coming in, but the energy with this full moon felt quite fiery. It might stir up some old stuff. It might stir up some tension between you and people that you're close to, or it may stir up some of that ancestor energy. It may stir up things that have been passed down to you, but you've already healed it, and it feels like it's just like a little that one more step of really kind of acknowledging that everything is changing. And that's kind of what spirit said. It's not meant to stir up unhealed or bring back memories. It's meant to kind of show us how much things have changed and how much you have changed. The deep work that you've been doing over the last, whether it be a couple months, couple weeks, couple days, or several years, that deep spiritual healing work that you've been doing is coming into a new unlocking, and it's coming into a beautiful space of unlocking deeper intuition, deeper sense of knowing, deeper sense of wisdom. And our ancestors are literally forming around us this full moon. It was absolutely beautiful to see. Our ancestors are forming around us in this unlocking, and really encouraging us and supporting us into embracing it at a deeper level, embracing it even more into ourself, into our, sorry, my necklace is kind of shifting a little bit, into our sense of self, and into a deeper understanding that we are shifting things into a highlighted space with this full moon. So it may feel very personal. It may feel very spiritual. You're moving into a lot of intuitive energy. And what they whispered to me is, make sure you take compassion with you, compassion for the past, compassion for the present moment, compassion for the future, compassion for what our ancestors did. So there are some things for many of us that are handed down, and it's handed down in the form of a lot of trauma, or the form of a lot of hard stuff to work through in relationships, they're holding it in compassion and they're asking us to hold ourselves in that compassion as we navigate through this energy. Okay, I got a bit more here to say. So you may be this energy may also kind of trickle in with people around you. So you may see some stuff at home or with other family members who may not understand energy, or who may be struggling to kind of go through the old patterns or the old ways and letting go. But we're here to realize, a few things. Number one, we're here to help each other understand and understand, from that level of compassion, and it's a recalibration. So you may be teaching people this week. You may have people come onto your path that were like, that are really struggling, maybe family members or friends. You're probably going to be the teacher this week and say, you know what, that energy is trying to show you something. Yes, it's fiery, and full moons are always showing us that we are supported and we can release. You may be pushed to teach a little bit. Embrace that gentleness and supporting other people and teaching them to let go. I think it's a beautiful reminder. It's a beautiful acknowledgement. It's a beautiful support system. And I wish I could just give you a snapshot of what the meditation looked like. But I hope I did a good job describing it. It was like massive amounts of ancestors just kind of supporting us through this full moon, and just helping us realize how much we have done. And when you think about, sometimes we focus too much on what needs to be done. It's about focusing on now this time on how much we have done. We have healed so much and changed so much and brought in different perspectives, and we have grown, and just kind of sit with some compassion this week. It is going to be a fiery energy, and it's very healing, though. As fiery as it is, it's more healing, and it's another level of healing. And as I always say, we're always working on the healing anyway, right? We're always taking that into the next level. We're always taking that a little bit deeper. We're always expanding it to other people to say, hey, here it is, pick it up and hold it. And sometimes when we kind of navigate through a lot of this, other things that may pop up for you is you may have a little bit of resentment pop up. You may have a little bit of shame pop up. Just give it permission to let go, let go. Spend some time quiet, spend some time letting go. Be gentle through this full moon energy, because it's got a fiery nip to it. All right, you guys. All right, let's see here. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. There's quite a few of us joining the live. So happy to have all of you here. How's the weather? It is a lovely snowy, gentle snow kind of falling this morning here, Kayla. Not too much. There was no cancellation of school buses or anything like that. It's on the milder side, which is absolutely beautiful. Good morning. Okay, let me just scroll through here. Hannah, good morning. Any messages for me, Lana? Hannah, I feel like I've got to kind of like slow your road. I feel like I just feel like I have to say slow it down just a little bit. Practice a little bit of pausing, even if it's for like 10 seconds at a time. I feel like I've just got to kind of like pause. I don't know if it's like a lot of overthinking, or if it's actual like the world around you has been going really fast. There's a lot of stuff going in. I feel like I've got to say, you just hit that pause, even just breathe for 5 seconds with intention. I feel like I've got to just come into that a little bit this week there for you, Hannah. Let's see here. Shy probably won't make it, so she says hi. Oh, thanks for the heads up, and hello, Shy, if you're watching the replay here this morning. Mila Earl, hi Lana. I'm wondering how my Aunt Wendy is doing up in heaven, and if she's sending me any signs. Mila, our loved ones up in the spirit dimensions are always around us, and they are in a glorious space of love and healing and peace. So she's doing quite fine. I really feel like she's really. I don't feel necessarily a sign right now, Mila. I feel a push. I feel like this push of pushing through. I feel like this push of allowing change. I feel like this push of putting down what's not serving you. And she's literally like dropping things that don't serve you, dropping anything that's not working out. I'm going to try something else, and really kind of pushing you into a lot of trust. Sandra, I'm wondering if my team has any messages for me. Thanks, Lana. I'm wishing you a happy new year. Happy new year to you. I feel like I've got to say, I'm curious if you've been sitting with your own team a little bit more, because they keep pushing it towards you. Like, it's like this push. You already know. You already have the validation. You already sense them around and working with you. And I feel like I that they want to acknowledge that you're doing really well with that. I also feel like I've got to just acknowledge that I don't know if there's something recently or if you're working through this currently, but I feel like I have to say you're doing well at finding your own way. So I don't know if you've shifted your perspective or put some things down that don't resonate with you, or if you've just been kind of working on your own a little bit more. But I feel like I've got to acknowledge that you're finding your own way, and I don't know if you're more comfortable in that. But I just feel like a shift there that makes sense. There. I hope I'm making that sense. Well, Saturday and Sunday night, I saw the moon, and it was bright, beautiful. Almost blinded by it. Yeah, it is glorious there, Wes. That's what she said. Lana, should I be packing? Do you see me moving next month? That move feels very, very close. So number one, I feel like I've got to say, yeah, start preparing, start putting, start getting things ready. I feel like I've got to kind of push that energy a little bit. I'm not 100% sure if it's later in February though. I'm just pushed a little bit beyond February 1st, but I'm pushed there a little bit. I'm just pushed a little bit, but I feel like I've got to kind of like get ready, put things away that you're not longer wearing or that you don't need right now, and kind of help that along there. That's what she said. I hope that helps you. Um, Enos, Eni, I hope I pronounced that right, darling. Hello, Lana. Messages for me from Spirit. Thank you. I actually have a very strong mother figure energy, so mom, grandmom, someone like a mom, and because our ancestors, they, even though you may not have known them as a mom, if you didn't meet them, but she feels like I feel like this mother energy. She's very excited, like she has this excited energy about her, and I feel like that's naturally that was part of her energy when she was here. She just has this brilliant brightness to her. She's trying to encourage you to shine. She's trying to show you, like, put out your own energy, just kind of stand in your own truth, stand in your own strength. She's really encouraging this unraveling and going deeper into who you are. And she's showing me this brilliant brightness. And I don't know if you're shy to shine, but she's just like really pushing like this: shine bright, just shine bright, let it all out, let all of who you are shine through. There it is. Bianca, good morning. Quick question. I have an ex. He was the reason I got into tarot in the first place. Huge spiritual lesson. Was he a past life connection or twin flame? Bianca, I do feel a bit of both. I feel like this wasn't your first time meeting up in a lifetime. And I also feel that twin flame energy, and I feel like the connection was not meant to be long term. So I feel it was like, we're gonna reconnect if you need my help. And because with choice and free will, we often don't need to reconnect sometimes with people from past lives. But if we run into a little bit of a snag, or we need that support, then we do connect with them. And I feel like that connection was to kind of like give you that push, give you that support. Not meant to be long term. I'm just here. I'm just going to stay long enough to help you. When we have a connection with someone from our past life, it stirs up a lot of feelings. There's like, oh, there you are, and there's the connection of the bond just feels very fast, very easy, but with some static to it, especially with the twin flame that can often be fiery and staticky. But I feel like it wasn't in the plan this lifetime to remain connected. So you just both needed to do this. But I feel like it brought you into a glorious, glorious aha and realization. And I also feel that went both ways. There was something there that you taught them as well. You taught him something that he needed a gentle reminder on. Sandra, one on the ancestor note, I wonder if it's possible to completely heal all wounds and no longer be affected by them at some point. That's a really good question. I do feel okay. So I do feel that we can completely heal and surrender our experiences and the energy from our ancestors. What happens, though, Sandra, is our brain never forgets. So our brain will kick in with, remember this happened, remember they did that, remember this is how you were raised, remember. The brain reminds us. So I feel like when the brain reminds us, we go back into the healing. Oh yeah, I worked through that, but and then that's where it's kind of like that word triggered, right? Something happens, it triggers a memory, up it comes, and it's not that you haven't healed it. It's like you're going back into the memory of it. So you kind of tap in a little bit with some more compassion, some more love. It's ongoing. I truly, truly do believe that we're always working on some healing at all levels. Even if it's just a reminder, I've worked through that. I've let that go. It's come back up, and I'm going to acknowledge it, but I'm not going to sit back in it. It's like remembering a lesson, right? So, if you ever I want to kind of this is a spirit showing it to me. You remember when you were in high school, Sandra, and you let's say you calculus. I'll just pick a subject or science. You can change it to whatever resonates with you, and then it comes back that same topic comes back up like 10 years later, and it's like, oh yeah, that was grade 11 calculus. Flip, 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 flip. Oh, it's foggy, but I remember a little bit of it. It's that same thing, right? That memory bank of stuff, and then you just kind of like heal it a bit more, add some more love to it, and understanding. And here's the thing with what the ancestors always say to me: we're making things better, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation that's coming up. And the people that we connect with, they're going to go through their own healing stuff. I mean, our kids or our spouses or our friends, we kind of the next generation is going to have to kind of work through what we didn't understand. We're doing our best, right? Like we're doing our best to be the best parent, sibling, friend, in 50 years from now, the generations that are coming behind us are going to kind of tap in and to heal what we didn't understand. And when I ask myself, how do I want that to look like? So your kids, how do you want them to look at you? Because most of us, it's not intentional. Yes, there are some things that are terrible, but most of our learning is in our trip and falls are not intentional to hurt. I'm hopeful that there's anything that I didn't parent well through or navigate well through. I hope that it's felt like she really tried to do her best with what she knew in in that timeline. Right? Although that makes sense. Laura, I have felt that something is different about me, that something great for me is on the horizon. Your message makes so much sense to me. I'm grateful for that, Laura. What does my spirit team say to me about being triggered a lot? Do they want me to get out of my comfort zone? Spirit is always pushing us to get out of our comfort zone. And we often, Jasmine, go kicking and screaming because we get comfortable. We even get comfortable in the uncomfortable, don't we? Right. And so absolutely it's about being pushed forward. And you bring up a good point. Sometimes when things come up, if we're triggered or if there's a repeat learning, spirit wants us to move forward and get out of our comfort zone and learn. We came here to do that. We came here to learn our lessons. We came here to grow. We came here to love. We came here to support. And it is hard. It's hard to get pushed out of our comfort zone. I'll put up my hand. There are many times, and even recently, it's like, oh, that's going to be different, and it feels unknown, and I'm not really sure. I mean, I think that we all can relate to that, right? Just yesterday, I got an email opening. It was a door that's opening for me, and I was like, "Oh, and it's gonna be different." And it's like, "Yeah, but it's gonna be glorious. You just have to trust the process, and you'll learn along the way, Lana. You'll learn along the way. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to know what we're doing. Most of us, I think 99% of us, don't know what we're doing anyway. So we might as well just kind of like learn and explore and embrace. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't work out, great. And that's kind of how I lean in. If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't work out, I learned something, or I met some people, or I had that experience. And being pushed out of our comfort zone, Jasmine, we usually struggle with that because we often struggle with, what if I fail? What if it doesn't go right? What if it's a mistake? What if you just learned? What if you just experienced? What if you just explored? Right? It doesn't have to go great to have an experience. And that's one thing that I've really worked hard to kind of embrace for myself is it doesn't have to go great. I just have to learn. All right. I love you guys so much, by the way. Ina, what does my super spirit team, okay, does my super spirit team something to tell me? I would love to hear something from them. Um, when I lean in there, I got a whole bunch of things come flying at me. There's quite a bit there, my dear. Number one, I feel like that whole self compassion piece. I feel like I have to say you're doing quite well at that. I just feel all the support and this cheering. There's something there that you've shifted fairly recently with that self compassion and that self support. I also see I see you kind of like on this spiritual scooter, and I can see you pushing with one foot at a time. It's kind of cute. Not that you have to get a scooter, but this is kind of how they're showing it to me. And I see sometimes where you kind of slowly push your foot, and then sometimes you're gaining momentum. And I feel like they're showing me that you're gaining momentum as you kind of scoot around. But as you scoot around, I feel like it's got great purpose. I feel like you're stopping and learning. I'm not sure why this little scooter keeps coming in, but it's really kind of cute. I feel like you're kind of moving forward in learning, and and again, it's like it's always about that forward momentum, and you're stopping often enough to kind of look around and pick up new spiritual tools, new growth. I love how they're showing that to me. So it's like keep scooting along. What keep pushing. It's that forward one foot. It's really cute. I love how they're showing me that. Bianca, yes, I literally teach a class of sixth grade students in behavior program. They have a lot of mental issues, but it's rewarding helping them grow when we have our good days. Oh, I love that, Bianca. That is so exciting. I'm a substitute teacher. Excellent. Fran, you want to hibernate? You can, Fran, if you want to. We can hibernate even for a few minutes, right? I mean, and when you think about that, we can literally take a few minutes, disconnect, and go hibernate somewhere. So absolutely. I feel that slowing down and hibernating is a great way to just kind of breathe and heal and chill. And like I say all the time, a few minutes is can make a huge difference. My partner is dealing with a lot of grief at the moment. Third anniversary of his father's passing away this month. We've been bickering a bit, but being compassionate is a good reminder for me. Thanks, Rachel. You're very welcome. Um, and grief is we all have our own experience with grief, and I think that's really important to note. We all move through grief in our own way, and I feel like your partner is yes, they may have moments where it gets really really heavy, but I feel like they're navigating it fairly well. And I feel like I have to say to him, take your time, because one thing with people, not just men, but people in general, we tend to push our feelings down. We tend to swallow them or ignore them. And when that happens, it doesn't help our journey through grief. And forever. I mean, he lost a father. Forever his life has changed. And I truly believe that the grief may get lighter, but we it comes with us, right? I feel like it comes with us. We're never truly over a death. We learn how to navigate without that person, or how to connect with them. And even myself, I've got loved ones and amazing friends that I miss them, in the physical world, and I communicate with them all the time, and it's a different type of relationship. And your partner's learning that, and some of us navigate through it differently, and he's navigating it through his own way. And I really feel, Rachel, that he is going to be okay. And I love that you are holding space and loving him through it, and holding that support. And I feel, we truly never know what another person's grief feels like. We may be able to relate because we've lost our own father, our own mother, our own loved ones. We can relate, but we all have different relationships with people. We all have our own way of processing and healing that grief. So well done to the both of you. Okay. Rachel, I can't move forward. Is there something significant with the month of April or the number 4? So either April being significant anniversary, birthday, or passing, or is your partner one of 4? I also have to go over to September just as a little bit of validation, and please let them know. Number 1, coins are very significant. Nickels, dimes, pennies. I feel like I was leaving a lot of coins, and I feel like I've got to say he's so held. All right. PJ, Lana. I went too fast. Eek. Sorry, you guys. All right, there we go. PJ, Lana, good morning. My good friend lost both her dogs due to illness. Um, do you see a new dog, maybe a certain breed? I feel PJ, I feel like I feel a few things here. I feel number one, that your friend is I don't feel just quite yet. I don't know if it's if she's not ready, or the timeline just isn't ready, but I just feel just not quite yet. And I feel like a certain breed, I feel like that's gonna shift. I feel like it's almost like a different breed comes forward, if that makes sense. So I don't know if your friend is just gonna kind of like open up more to whatever animal, whatever dog lands on my path, or I'm just gonna kind of take a little bit more time, but I feel like a different breed, if that makes sense, than what perhaps she's considering. Miss Cold Heat Wave, Miss Cold Heat Wave starting soon. Mandy, worried about my younger sister. Does Spirit have anything to say? Um, Mandy, I got a little bit of fog around that. You will always get only honesty out of me. I feel a little bit of fog under there. I can see that fog lifting, but it feels like a bit of a process. I don't feel it. It feels like a slow lift. You know when you get up in the morning and it's foggy, and then the fog slowly lifts, and you can see it kind of lifting, and then it's clear underneath it. I do feel that fog lifting, but I feel it's like a bit of a slow process there a little bit, but I do feel a little bit lighter. I feel like I'm coming into it, but I feel like I've got a bit of a space there, Mandy. Smash that like button, guys. Thank you so much. That's what she said. Okay, guys, I really have to get going soon here. I'm just going to see if there's any validation from anything that I've said. I do have to work today, so I know there's still a lot of questions. I will be back on Friday. Um, and we'll take some more questions here. Let's see where we are. Can I connect to Spock? Okay, so I just needed a minute there to connect to that cat. I just had the kind of feeling I had this. I don't know. I just had a weird shift. It was like, oh, okay, here I am. Um, I feel like I've got to say Spock understood. Um, that he wasn't well. I understood, why things went as the way they did. So I'm not sure if you're struggling it with did he know? Did he know? Did he understand why? And I feel like I do. I feel like I have an understanding. I can feel like and I feel like Spock had compassion for the decision that you had to make. And I also feel like that is he didn't want to be here if he wasn't well. And I don't feel like there was another answer. I feel like that was the right thing, and I feel like that's the right thing. Well, that's him, not me. That's I feel like I knew it was the right thing. I feel like understood that my journey was coming to an end, and I also feel like this cat's always already connected to you. So my question to you is: have you felt him? Have you felt him come close? Because I can literally have this like tingly feeling on my legs, like he's curled up there. Like I just feel like I've got this. Almost feels like tingly or pins and needles in my legs. I feel like I've already connected to you to let you know that I'm okay. And I also have to say need to thank you for the compassion on helping me with my transition. I feel like I really there's so much gratitude there for not just the life that I had. I feel Spock had a really good life, but I feel like the compassion on being able to let me go, letting go of an animal and helping them transition is huge, and it's hard, right? And it takes a lot of digging deep to be able to go there. And I just feel like so much gratitude that you were able to do that in such a timely manner. Like it was like I I know I need to do this, and it's hard, but I feel like Spock got put first. Like my needs got put first, not the emotions and the attachment. I really feel deeply with that. Oh, bless them. Yeah, I keep getting this tingling on my legs. Okay. Um, Edie, I'm worried about my dog, Axel. He's 12 and has tummy issues. Will this pass or more serious? The vet wasn't too concerned yet. I'm not too concerned either yet. I can't lean in there. I just feel, yes, an older dog. And yes, that when they start getting older, we start having things present. But I don't feel really, really worried. Will I ever claim to know it all? No, I won't. But I just feel, it's almost like, when humans age and their digestive system changes, I feel the same thing with your dog. And I just feel like I feel like you're going to work through it. Like, I feel like, that this sensitivity and this tummy issue, I do feel it's going to settle. Dee Dee, I just feel like I have to say, in the power of right now, keep enjoying that little cutie. There we go. All right, you guys, I have pushed the time. I know there's a lot of questions here that I didn't get to. Join me again Friday morning if you can for Ask the Medium, and we'll get to a few more. Thank you, Lana. She really appreciates you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Um, yeah, I know there's quite a few, you guys, but I do have to work. It's almost 9 o'clock already. Let's see what angel numbers are going to talk to us today. Oh, it's a long one. 211. Now is a time for you to rise above any seeming problems and ensure that every word you speak, write, or think is as positive as possible. You're manifesting very quickly, so you want to ensure that you focus solely upon your desired outcomes and do not dwell upon any fears. Now, I just want to come back into ensure that every word you speak, write, or think is as positive as possible. Watch for the toxic positivity. Make sure that it's things that you can connect to being positive. And we can also look at the hard things in a positive way. I'll just kind of rant on a bit of an example here. This is a really hard part of my life, and I'm working through it in the best that I can. I'm feeling disappointed, and I know this is teaching me something. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. You see how that's it, I'm big on acknowledging how you're feeling and just kind of at you. And I'm having a temper tantrum right now, and I know I don't need to, but I'm gonna trust. Okay, just kind of acknowledge how you're feeling. It's and how you're looking at it. I think is always important because I kind of get like that with any kind of toxic positivity. Always acknowledging and shifting into I'm learning right now. It's hard as heck, but I'm learning right now. I just feel it's so important. So yes, looking at things in a positive manner is important, but it's also important to acknowledge how you're feeling about it, because some things really stink in life, right? And some things are really hard in life, but and we're gonna navigate it through the best that I can. So it just like I think positivity, it doesn't have to be fake or phony or toxic. It can be, yeah, this is really crappy, right? And whatever word you want to use, I'm trying to keep it clean, but I am navigating it the best that I can, and I'm going to heal it when I'm ready. That's still positive to me, and and always, it's take what resonates and leave the rest. But I feel like yes, I'm going to look at the other side of this, but we have to acknowledge how we're feeling, because too many of us have buried things for too long without acknowledging it, and then we kind of get that spiritual acid reflex where it's like, "Ugh, there it is, there's that thing I didn't deal with, and now I've held it for this long," right? So I feel like acknowledging it, having a different, I know I'm working on having, even if you have to say, I'm working on having a different perspective right now, and I just don't feel it, right? It still has a positive feeling without it being toxic, because I think there's been too much of this positive fluffy bunny without acknowledging how we feel. So that's just my opinion on it. That's just my rant. Right? That's just my rant on it, because some things are hard and some things we don't understand, and some things it's a lot of crappy healing, and sometimes we don't get through the other side of it. But so I just need to kind of say positivity is great, but acknowledging how you feel is even better, right? Okay. Oh, look at that. Thank you for acknowledging toxic positivity. You're very welcome. Because it's real, right? I mean, it's our experiences here are real. How you feel matters. All right. Let's concentrate. What do we need to know? You guys help me out on this. Help me out. Help me out. Oh, I went to the blank page. Let's do that again, you guys. Okay. Every now and again. Cheetah. Things will be speeded up for a while, but be assured you will move gracefully through this cycle. Increase your flexibility by daily stretching and perhaps even taking regular yoga classes for the next few months. It doesn't have to be yoga, it can just be whatever resonates with you. You must respond without hesitation to the opportunity that has recently presented itself. Don't get caught up in the trap of rigid thinking and acting, but instead remain flexible and willing to change course quickly as the situation demands. Out of the comfort zone is the short way of putting that. Out of the comfort zone we go. I'm stretching as you're reading. I love that. I love that. It's funny because I was doing a lot of stretching over the weekend too. I was feeling quite stiff, especially my neck. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" You know when you have that sleep? I must have been sleeping with my neck crooked. So I had to do a lot of stretching in my neck and my shoulders to kind of move through that. I just want to take a moment to thank you guys. Not sure if you've seen the post, but the Hawk and I won the Canadian Awards for 2025 under the category of wellness. And I just wanted to thank all of you for all of your support on that journey. And this is a big shift, not just for me, but it's an award for all of us. It's an award for all of us. Spirituality, mediumship, healers. We've had a lot of turbulence in how the world views us. And we're viewed sometimes, not always, but we've been viewed as not being significant quite often. And this is the second year we have landed in the category of wellness. So big things are shifting, and it's for all of us. I mean, the Hawk and I winning this award. It's not just us. It's not just me. It's all of you. We've all won this award. We're spirituality and healing, mediumship. We're coming into a beautiful space with that and some beautiful acknowledgement. And I do truly do feel that, and I've always felt it was part of wellness. And should be looked at from a different perspective. So thank you for being such a beautiful voice in helping us get there, and thank you for showing up for me and for each other, because it's all about community. I have been speaking loud and proud for the last several years, and it's making a difference for all of us. And it's all of us that did it. It was all of you. It was all of us that are pushing for change. Yes, my neck was in so much pain this weekend. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of kink necks. Congratulations. Thank you guys. Be proud of all of us, because it's all of us that are speaking up. Right? It's all of us that are saying, "Hey, healing works." Healing works, and mediumship does bring a lot of value into helping people through grief, helping people understand the spirit dimensions. And for all healers, I mean, we're all paving a way. It's not just me paving a way. It's all healers. It's all of you. We're paving a way, and it feels really good for 2 years in a row to see that change, to see that acknowledgement, because it wasn't that long ago. Speaking of ancestors, it wasn't that long ago that what we do could have cost us our lives. Right? Think about that. Right? There was a timeline when we were looked on very differently. Kings used oracles all the time, and then things shifted into what we do is dark, and people lost their lives doing this kind of work. We're coming into a beautiful understanding, and it's for all of us. It's for all of us. I just want to make that very clear. Yes, it's honor for the Hawk and I, but it's also honor for all of us, because it's incredible. It's an incredible shift. Spring, I'm still dealing with the non-believers. That's difficult to navigate, and it's okay. Spring, I've learned that people will find their way with what resonates with them, and it's always important. And I give respect, and 99% of the time I get respect. It's okay. Hopefully they find their way. And I think, the more that you grow and the more comfortable you become in your own spirituality and the way you connect and the way you work, it does get a little softer. It does get a little softer. I am very honest with people. I think it's a good thing to have some gentle skepticism. Like all things in life, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mediumship needs to be honored in a way of evidential. So those of you who are my students, here's why I teach the evidential piece, right? And also I also want to say that it's a development thing. Some are just developing their skills, and they're learning their skills, but we are getting there. We are getting there with spirituality as a whole being acknowledged as wellness. And it fills my heart to see that shift, and it's been shifting for a while. It's not a new shift, but it has been shifting for a while. But I feel like we've got some big leaps that we've just taken, and you have all been a part of that. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided week. I'll see you all Friday. Take care.